Hey guys, it's Jay here and welcome back. And today we're going to be going over the blue ocean strategy for Amazon that I see nobody doing, but I've been screaming since the top of my lungs to everybody here on YouTube. And I think it's one of the best strategies. So I want to break it down from top to bottom of how you can actually win and don't go through all of the headaches that you see probably on YouTube from all the other methods. Okay, so let's go through it step by step. First, consequences of your choice. And there's two choices here, right? We have the blue ocean strategy and the other strategy that everybody else talks about. Okay, so first we're going to talk about ignoring the blue ocean strategy, and by the end you'll start to understand of what it actually is, and then I will pull it all together so you can see, okay, that makes a ton of sense, and that's why it is how it is. Okay, so number one, when you aren't following this method or strategy, you are competing on pricing constantly, right? You're sick and tired of the price tankers, all the small sellers, all the new sellers. Every time a new seller comes on Amazon, they're your competition, and there's 7,000 or so new sellers every single day that are competing with you if you're not going through the right strategy of selling. And I know it's a headache because I've been there and I've done that, and it caused me into a little bit of a rat race, okay? Next, constant orders sent through. And if you already are selling on Amazon, you probably know this, right? You have some suppliers or retailers that you have to place order after order after order with. And by the time you're done and getting all of your inventory for that month, it's time to do those orders again for the next month, right? So it's chaotic, all right? Next, big brand troubles. If you're focusing on those massive big brands, the Nikes, the Adidases, the big beauty brands of the world, you will run into troubles, whether it's IP complaints, whether it's price tanking, whether it's, whatever it may be. There are big troubles when it comes to dealing with a lot of the big brands. Maybe the brand starts to sell a product, maybe they have an exclusive distributor selling the product. It gets a little bit chaotic and hectic, okay? Next, you burn out fast. And I'm saying this from firsthand experience. I burned out, right? When you're placing all these different orders across 5, 10, 15 products in your catalog, you're getting tired of doing it, especially when one of those products starts to price tank. Because if this is price tanking, but you're buying this, then you're buying this, you have to catch up on doing this, and now you feel like money is getting lost everywhere. It makes you burn out at a really quickly pace, okay? So you have to kind of change that. Also, Amazon feels oversaturated. I can't tell you guys how many times I've had somebody DM me, text me, message me, whatever it may be, and tell me, wasn't Amazon 3 years ago? Wasn't that big 2-3 years ago? And it is hilarious because there's millions of people out there who are building massive, scalable 7- and 8-figure businesses at this point with no change. It's actually becoming easier to sell on Amazon nowadays because of these new strategies and methods. So when you aren't doing this and you feel like you're just running from a race to a bottom, then it does feel oversaturated, and you get in your head a little bit of why you want to stop, quit, or it doesn't work, okay? Next, you don't have time anymore, right? When you're doing these constant orders, when you're dealing with all this competition, you are just running around like a crazy fireman, putting out all these fires, placing orders, dealing with pricing. Everything is chaotic. It is hectic, and it is very, very hard, okay? Now, let's talk about the actual blue ocean method. And you're gonna see it's a lot of these points that are kind of conglomerated into one. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm gonna make it a word for the video, all right? So these are all gonna be put into one for this method, all right? Number one, we have easier growth. When you're following the blue ocean strategy, it's easier to grow as a true beginner. I don't mean as if you have thousands of dollars or you're scaling the business at a very, very high level and you're already, concrete on Amazon. As a true beginner, very easy to penetrate and grow if you know how to do it right, all right? Next, we have more restocks. This is one of the most valuable things when it comes to building an Amazon business, is buying the same product over and over again. And if you're already reselling, you're probably saying, Jay, of course, no brainer, no kidding. Of course I want to buy products that I can just, buy every single time on the first of the month and do that for 12 months, but I can't find them. It's because there's a particular way to do this business that a lot of people don't do or don't shine on that makes it a lot easier. So you want to focus on restocks and bringing that inventory inbound. Because take it for this. A lot of your best purchases can be for the ones that you already have in your inventory, all right, as far as your restocks, okay? Also, sustainable replens, right? When we're buying replens, we're looking to buy them at the same ROI, the same level, and know that we're gonna sell out 75 units, 50 units, 30 units, whatever the number may be. We wanna know that we are gonna be consistent and not just, okay, we have to buy 10 units here, now we have to buy 5 units, now we have to maybe get 15. Oh, the supplier started canceling our orders. This is just chaotic, right? That's exactly what happens when it comes to not following this, all right? I know we're getting closer there. Also, delegation friendly. If you're placing hundreds or thousands of orders on a monthly basis, which is a lot, across multiple different suppliers, multiple different sites, multiple different discounts and coupons, how can you possibly delegate a lot of that order tracking and maybe even purchasing to a team member, to a VA, right? Because that's what it's all about in the business. Work 1 hour a day, work 2 hours a day. You see it everywhere online, and that's what you want to get towards. But how can you do that when you're placing all these orders and you have money flying everywhere? So the blue ocean strategy keeps it delegation friendly, okay? Next, predictable results, right? We know what we're doing. We know what buy costs we're at. We know when we're going to purchase the product. We know our relationship with the supplier. Hint, that's where we're going with this. And we know what's going to happen when we sell these products and replenish for the next month, okay? And last, scale calmly, not emotionally, all right? So when you have a lot of these one-time opportunities, big retailers that you're buying from and whatnot, a lot of things is emotional, right? You're trying to buy as much inventory as you can, try to maximize the discount. And it's great for quick and short-term profit, right? To try to get some money into the business. But it's easier to scale and you don't have to be emotional. You don't have to be chaotic and jump on every opportunity. It's a lot easier to do it this way when you are following the blue ocean method, okay? Now, I want to go through an example because it's very, very critical on how it looks like when we do follow this method. I'm going to go through it top to bottom, step by step, and it's going to get a lot clearer as we go through, okay? So first, we're going to focus on niche. So let's say, for example, the product category is a lawn care, right? Lawn care product, whatever it may be, pesticides or a tool, equipment, whatever it may be. Notice how I'm not starting this entire example with clothing or shoes or Nike, or the biggest brands in the world, or a big time supplement or vitamin brand, because those are very hard to get going with this sustainable method and makes it a lot bigger of a hurdle. Okay, so we're focusing on niche categories, all right? Now, as far as the supplier, no, I'm not going to mention one of the big ones, one of the Home Depots of the world, or Lowe's or anything like that. We're going to look at a small one, and of course you have to go through the process of making sure that they're legitimate, going through Trustpilot, Google reviews, making sure the supplier will ship this product and everything will look good. But it has to be a smaller retailer. Maybe it doesn't have to be family owned or mom and pop, but we have to get smaller than a Home Depot of the world. Okay, now look at this: bulk orders and discounts. So when you look up online a particular product, and you know this if you started selling already, and you go to Google and you try to find a particular product, you're going to see unprofitable, right? The buy cost is 25 and it sells for 35 on Amazon. You're going to click off of that product and just keep moving to the next one to try to find it profitable, whether you can find it at a discount, coupon, whatever it may be. But when you're going to a smaller supplier, right? Let's just say like Jay's Lawn Care, right? It looks very, very small and traditional. Then you're going to try to get a bulk order through to them. Hey, can I get 50 units of this particular product? And in with that bulk order comes a discount, whether it's 10%, 20%, 30%, who knows, depending on the supplier. I've gotten as high as 50% of discounts, right, compared to what was advertised online. And that way, you're bringing in inventory that's profitable at bulk, and you're not placing a ton of orders, okay? Now, let's say for this example, we have monthly sales, 200 units, okay? And our revenue is $2,400 a month. So we sell 200 units and $2,400 a month comes in revenue. That means each product is $12, okay? We're selling it for $12. Very cheap product. I don't recommend working in cheap products, but just for the sake of the example, let's say that, okay? Now, the profit per unit for each of these is $3. I like it to be a little bit higher, but let's say after prep fees, after the miscellaneous fees, inbound shipping, it's $3 profit per unit. Now we're looking at monthly profit of $600. And if you do this across 5 products, small retailer, buying in bulk, potential discounts, stable keep a chart, stable listing with good pricing over time, we're looking at $3,000 in profit. Now I know you might be saying, Jay, that's super easy to say, easier said than done. It's so hard to source, find these products. But look, we're starting with finding smaller suppliers. We're not starting here by looking at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walgreens and saying, let me compete with you, Jim, John, and Sally, and every other Amazon seller out there in the world. We're looking at these small products, these small retailers that we can buy 5 of to get to $3,000 in profit. Who wouldn't take $3,000 in profit across 5 products? I know it can be a little bit hectic because you're selling a lot of units to get there with that profit, but who knows? You could sell, more expensive units and try to get higher profit per dollars and whatnot. But this is the breakdown when it comes to, in a nutshell, and we're gonna dive into it a lot deeper, so don't worry, okay? So now, going with the blue ocean strategy, let's touch on this right here. Myth versus reality. Okay, so you're just kind of learning about it. Maybe you've heard of it a little bit before, probably not, because I never heard anybody talk about it here online. But let's talk about some myths and realities when it comes with it. Okay, myth, volume-based approach. Right? What does that mean? So selling popular products that everyone buys, right? Shouldn't you just sell everything that Nike? You see Nike everywhere on the street. You see Adidas everywhere on the street. You know this beauty product is everywhere on TikTok. Shouldn't you sell that? Wrong, especially when it comes to building an Amazon business, right? There's a lot of different variables that make it not a profitable product, okay? Next, big brands are safer. right? That's why we all want to get ungated, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. Those big brands that everybody can sell and everybody can find from any retailer, those are safer, right? No, they're actually a lot more dangerous with IP complaints, not liking third-party sellers, not liking smaller sellers by jumping on their listings, okay? Next, higher sales per month equals guaranteed sales. So if a listing sells 1,000 times per month or 2,000 times per month, I'm guaranteed to get at least 5 or 10% of the share. Wrong. Completely wrong, right? If you're jumping on a listing that has Amazon or a big seller you're competing with, there's no chance you can get any sales because there's 5 other yous, right? And there's 3 other thems, and you're competing with a big, giant, massive scale, and you really just can't fight. You can't win that fight, right? Pound for pound, there's no chance of you winning that fight. So it's not just, okay, it's a big listing, big opportunity, let's go and jump on it. Wrong, okay? Also, copy what sells a lot. If these Nike socks do really, really well, I should sell this other variation of Nike socks. No, avoid Nike in general, right? We're not looking to go where everybody else is going. We're going the blue ocean way, okay? Next, competing with bigger sellers is normal. Again, no. Just because a bigger seller is selling the product doesn't mean that you would want to, okay? They're one, getting the price a lot cheaper, and 2, they're gonna dominate 100% of the sales. Yes, 100% of the sales. I've sold on many listings with bigger sellers before, and I have gotten dominated on no sales at all over the course of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, because they get 100% of the sales. And guess what? They can drop the price and just dominate if they want to, all right? Now, worked in 2018, not in 2026. Was it easier to get a lot of orders through back then? Yeah, of course, right? Maybe it was easier. Maybe there's a lot less Amazon sellers and the competition was a little bit lower, but this is the easiest time when it comes to building a real business on Amazon, right? With different strategies, different retailers, smaller retailers, bulk orders, because there's so much more resources out there. Even you watching this video is a bit of that information to allow you to know, okay, this is what I should do when I'm looking to actually build the business, not just kind of, run this little side hustle getting going, okay? Now, we want to talk about niche-based approach. This is the reality, all right? This is the reality of it, all right? Owning smaller markets. Now, maybe somebody else has talked about this, but when you look at smaller opportunities on Amazon, you think, who in the world would want this electrical pipe, right? How many people are really in demand for that? How many Google searches are in the demand for that? How many people come onto Amazon to buy that? And it has 200 sales per month or whatever it may be. That's the market we want to focus in because that's what everybody else is saying. That's even what the big sellers are saying. That's what the brands potentially could be saying when they're talking about their, third-party platforms and whatnot. You want to take advantage of all the niche smaller markets that you can dominate. You don't want to just jump on a piece of the pie of Nike. You want to jump on the smaller ones, right? Where you can start to build your own portfolio and presence, right? Now, niche demand, more consistency. Okay, and it's true. When you're selling a niche product and it's just selling over time, that same kind of volume, it has 7 or 8 sellers, 12 sellers, whatever it may be, there's just more consistency. You could see these products become profitable for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you can't say the same when it comes to those big, big branded products, right? A lot of those are BOGOs, restocks, Kohl's. You're trying to buy from these retailers and trying to hustle orders through, and it gets a little bit hard, and eventually they tank, then they come back up, then they tank, they come back up. Believe me, I went through all that tons and tons of times. So these niche products or niche categories, they have a lot more consistency and they last a lot longer, which makes it better for us, right? Now, smaller brands, easier access, maybe. So these smaller brands, when it comes to reaching out to them, yes, it typically is easier access. I'm not saying we're reaching out to them to have a relationship exactly with the brand and have a brand direct exclusive account. That's a great case scenario, but for the most part, maybe I have it here that a lot of these smaller brands, we have easier access to contact because they have those smaller retailers, and a lot of times the brand isn't focused on their Amazon listing and whatnot. But if it's a really small brand and they don't have many retailers, then it's a little bit harder to get through. But for the most part, smaller brands, okay? Now, less competition, less headaches. This one is very, very true, right? If you don't have 45 other 1-star review sellers on the listing, it's a lot less headache because that pricing is stay consistent, and you don't have to worry about any big IP complaints coming down typically or anything else coming out chaotic. So it has less headaches you can buy on a repeatable basis, okay? Now, get this one. This is going to be some news to a lot of people who kind of need to see this, and I needed to see this when I first started. 100 sales per month is 100 sales per month, whether it's Nike or whether it's a product you never heard of, okay? They're both 100 sales per month. Let's say they're the same price and whatnot, same profit. They're both 100 sales per month. Who cares if you think, or if you watch on TV that more people are buying Nike nowadays? No, the Keepa chart and the demand on the Amazon listing tells us they're both 100 sales per month. So let's work in the niche product rather than the one that's oversaturated, okay? That's a big one. Now, and lastly, 2026 is about positioning, not trend. I've heard so many different times from people thinking about, oh, what trend? I think this is going to work really well. Of course, during quarter four, it's different things, right? Like Christmas products, the demand in e-commerce is much, much higher. So yeah, demand goes up and whatnot. But I'm not sitting here on, looking at Amazon product sourcing and saying, oh, let me find ashwagandha because it's really popular. I saw it on Shark Tank. Or let me find, Talanova cream because I think it's getting really popular on TikTok. It's not about that, right? Maybe the demand comes up a little bit, but all you're doing is reading this demand, whether it's a small brand or big brand, niche product, underneath, not niche product, you're just looking at the demand and making it work. Okay, does it work well? Does it do it consistently? Let's go and approach it. Okay, so this is what it's all about, especially in this year. It's been about that in 2025 as well, but this is bigger than ever, right? Because there's 9 billion or million listings on Amazon. There's so many more of these products that have consistent volume over time, not just trending up, right? It looks like it has demand and eventually will fall off, or a brand that you can't even sell. Okay, so when it comes down to it, to completely wrap it all together, when it comes to the blue ocean strategy and what things look like and whatnot, you're looking to target those niche categories, niche brands, niche products from smaller retailers to buy in bulk and build a mini relationship with, rather than focusing on just reselling. Okay. And now listen, don't get me wrong. It's great to build a business in the side of where you can, resell from those retailers like Walgreens, like PetSmart. Believe me, I've done it many, many times. It's great to have that balance in the business. But when it comes to building things and it comes to sustainability and doing it over long periods of time, this is going to help you win so much. So as always, I hope you guys liked the video and I hope it helps you a lot. I'm going to be having one coming out every single day pretty soon. So if you liked it, please like and subscribe. And I'm going to be sticking around on this for a while and hope I can help you guys as much as I can. So I will see you guys in the next one.